think the best way to describe it is, even when I wanted to talk, I couldn't, because it felt like someone was holding me so tight around my neck. I couldn't, almost like I couldn't breathe. And when I wanted to speak, the words never came out, you know? I just wish people had asked me if I was okay. How am I dealing? Why am I drinking? Why am I in the bottle store? You know, I wish people had just asked. I think if somebody had asked, I would have thought, okay, somebody cares. But nobody asked. I had a pretty normal childhood. I was really blessed to have both parents at home. My parents were married for most of my life, majority of my life. I had a brother, grew up with my brother as well, in a safe neighborhood, in a beautiful home. We had rules and chores and stuff to do. And I must have been about 15 or 16 when this incident happened. My mom had come home that evening at about 8 o'clock because she studied at Wits. After her studies, she came and she was like, she just came to say goodnight. And I didn't know that that would be the last time that I would see her alive. So I showered, went to sleep, and it must have been about midnight, just before midnight, there was a loud banging on the door. And it was my brother. And he was just crying. And he said, I think Daddy just shot Mommy. We called our friend that lives up the road, who's a policeman, and told him what we had thought had happened. And they came and they took us out the yard, and we went up to his house because he was just up the road, and we got the news there that my dad had shot my mom and killed himself. And my mom was dead at that time. And a few hours later, at about 3 o'clock in the morning, we got the news that he had passed away too. It was like such a hard reality from then. And I don't know, what the family had gone through at that time, personally, losing a brother, losing a sister in such a traumatic way. But nobody really stepped up to look after my brother and I at that time.
You never think that you would meet someone who's gone through that kind of trauma. It's the kind of stories you read about in the paper, you hear on the radio, or you see it on television. And so when you have someone that close to you that's experienced something like that, you actually realize that you're not equipped to deal with it. And her story now becomes my story.
With my dad, I had gone for counseling eventually after I gave my life to Jesus. And I thought that I had forgiven him. And I thought that I had kind of let go of what he had done and everything like that. But I was married. I think I must have been married to Darren for about 2 years or so. And I just thought to myself, how would I feel if after 2 years, Darren came home and said to me, I'm leaving. I just thought of my dad that was married to my mom for almost 20 years. I had to show empathy. And I could only do that once I was married and once I had a spouse. So as much as I don't condone what he did, I had to put myself in a position to try and understand where he was at.
It definitely changed the way I saw her when I heard her story for the first time. But I just got so much more respect for her. Because for me, I was amazed that somebody could have been through that, and a situation like that could break people. It could destroy so many others, and yet she was still standing.
Even though it's been hard, and I miss my parents, and I feel like there's a lot that I've been robbed of. God has given me so much after what I've lost. And it just seems like God gave me some sort of tenacity and a really strong will over all the years, even though I was quite young. But what keeps me going is God, my husband, my son, and the family that I have now. And I know that, you know, even though my parents died the way that they did, my story is not their story. And my story is still being written. And my life and my story didn't end when their lives ended.
How did it feel sharing your story with me for the first time?
It was scary because I knew that your family was very much intact. So I was worried that you might run away or that you wouldn't want to be a part of someone that is basically from a broken family. How has my story impacted your life, love?
Hearing your story and getting to live part of your journey with you has helped me understand people better. I think to me you're a constant reminder to be sensitive to other people.
What are we going to teach Ezra about when bad things happen in life or when life throws you a curveball?
I think if there's anything we can teach our son, it's never to give up. It's to know who he is, to understand who he is, and also to let him know that he's not alone. You know, if there's anything we know beyond the shadow of a doubt, it's that God is always with us.
Hi, my name is Arlene.
And I'm Darren.
And this is our story.
What's your story?